the man who crushed kings, broke nations, and earned a name so terrifying that Scotland still remembers it today. He was not born a villain, but history would remember him as Edward Longshanks, the Hammer of the Scots. This is the silent story of King Edward I of England. In the 13th century, England did not need a king who smiled. It needed a king who conquered. Edward I rose to the throne in 1272, tall, ruthless, and obsessed with order. Where others ruled with words, Edward ruled with steel. His first target was Wales. For centuries, the Welsh had resisted English control. Edward did not negotiate. He invaded. Castles rose like scars across the land, stone by stone, trapping rebellion inside walls of fear. By 1283, Wales was broken, its princes executed, its freedom erased. Edward had sent a message: resistance would not survive him. But Scotland would define his legacy. When the Scottish throne fell into chaos, Edward stepped in as a so-called judge. In reality, he wanted obedience. He placed John Balliol on the throne, then humiliated him, stripped him of power, and invaded Scotland when rebellion followed. Cities burned, people were slaughtered, and Edward believed fear would keep the North silent. Then came William Wallace. Wallace did what Edward never expected. He inspired hope. For a moment, Scotland stood tall. Edward answered with fury. Wallace was hunted, captured, and executed in the most brutal way imaginable. Edward believed the resistance had died with him. He was wrong. Robert the Bruce rose next, and this time, the fire would not go out. Edward, old and dying, marched north one final time, desperate to crush Scotland forever. But his body failed him before his ambition did. In 1307, Edward I died on the road to war. He never saw Scotland submit. History remembers him as a brilliant lawmaker, a master of administration, and a merciless tyrant. A king who strengthened England while destroying lives beyond its borders. A ruler whose shadow shaped Britain for centuries. Edward I did not speak loudly. He did not need to. His power spoke for him, and even in silence, the echoes of his reign still remain. If you enjoy silent stories of powerful figures history can't forget, comment your thoughts below. Subscribe to the Silent Personalities for more untold history, and share this story, because some names should never fade into silence.